Attraction isn't some ethereal magic. It's not a spark that appears out of nowhere or a mystery you need to decode. Attraction, like much in life, follows patterns, cause and effect, action and consequence. But most men go about in a way that defies both reason and nature. They chase, they overextend, they rush to prove, explain, and convince. And in doing so, they lose themselves and her. See, you don't draw someone closer by moving faster toward them. You don't make a woman stay by showering her with proof of your devotion. And you definitely don't earn respect by insisting that you're nicer, different, or somehow superior to the rest. If you find yourself stuck in a loop, always the one texting first, reply within seconds, trying to be charming, endlessly kind, always available, and still she pulls back, cools off, or grows indifferent, then something fundamental is off. Not with you as a person, but with your posture in life. This isn't a video about tricks. It's not about how to appear confident. It's about how to be rooted, about how to move with intention and restraint. We're not talking about pickup artistry. We're talking about inner architecture. This is a foundation of presence, not performance. If Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus were alive today, this is the kind of thing they'd whisper to a young man. That power doesn't clamor for attention. It doesn't chase, it doesn't plead, it doesn't prove. It simply is. Quiet, still, anchored. That kind of presence has a weight to it, a gravity. It draws people in, not through manipulation, but through clarity. Because when a man knows who he is, he no longer needs to be chosen. He has already chosen himself. In this video, you're going to learn 5 Stoic Rules of Attraction, principles that shift how women experience you. These aren't tactics. They're a way of being, a posture of mind and body. These rules will help you create interest without pressure, desire without dependence, and curiosity without confusion. And by the end, you won't just understand why the old ways haven't worked. You'll know how to move in a new, more deliberate way. Let's begin. Rule 1. Be the man she can't fully read. A predictable man is easy to dismiss. When your every response can be guessed, when your attention is a constant flood rather than a measured stream, the mystery evaporates. And when mystery dies, so too does attraction. The Stoics understood the power of self-containment. To be unreadable is not to be deceitful. It is to have inner boundaries. When you overshare your thoughts, when you rush to validate someone before they've earned that space in your life, you hand over your power. You become less compelling, less magnetic. Let her wonder what you're thinking. Let there be pauses between your messages. Let silence carry some of the weight, not as a game, but as a reflection of your inner stillness. When you don't rush to fill every gap, she begins to lean in. She thinks more about you, not because you pushed, but because you pulled back with calm. In conversation, avoid being the man who lays his entire soul bare on the first date. That's not vulnerability, it's exposure. Wait, discern. Watch how she moves before deciding how much of yourself to reveal. When she messages late, don't rush to reply out of fear. When she takes space, don't scramble to reclaim her attention. Allow room. Space creates tension. And tension, when built on respect, not anxiety, is magnetic. Rule 2. Online presence should be rare and intentional. We live in a world that celebrates noise. But the wise know that real presence isn't about volume. It's about timing and meaning. If your digital life is a constant stream of updates, likes, comments, and attempts to be seen, then your presence starts to lose its weight. A man who is always on becomes easy to scroll past. There is no scarcity, no signal of depth, just noise. Less is more. Let your online presence reflect a life in motion, not a hunger for validation. Post when you have something of substance to show, not to prove something, but to share what you are becoming. A single welcome pose post, a clean, focused profile, a story that offers a glimpse, not a confession. That's enough. Let her think, what's he up to? Not because you're hiding, but because you're building. A Stoic doesn't broadcast his soul to the crowd. He shares only what serves his purpose. Your content should speak to your path, your projects, your growth, not your pain, not your loneliness, not your need to be seen. In a world of noise, restraint is seductive. Silence, when practiced with purpose, becomes a statement. Rule 3, stop explaining yourself. We live in a culture where everyone rushes to clarify, to explain, to justify. But when you feel the need to constantly explain your thoughts or actions, you invite someone else to become your judge. You give them the authority to determine your worth. A Stoic man doesn't need to defend every word. He doesn't need to convince someone that he's good, kind, or different. He lets his life speak, and he remains unmoved by misunderstanding. If she gives you a sideways look when you say something bold, don't flinch. Just smile. Let her sit with it. If she asks why you didn't reply quickly, tell her, I take my time with things that matter. Say it once without apology. Then move on. The more you explain, the more you signal insecurity. But when you can let moments pass without rushing to fix them, you show emotional control. And emotional control is rare. It's compelling. To quote Epictetus, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Not forever, but long enough to let the truth of your character reveal itself, without forcing it. Women don't chase clarity. They chase curiosity. Let them discover you, not through your defenses, but through your presence. Rule 4, be emotionally selective. There's a difference between having emotions and being ruled by them. You're allowed to care. You're allowed to feel. But attraction fades when your peace is too easily disturbed. If her coldness makes you spiral, if her sweetness makes you melt, if your entire mood swings with her attention, then you've given her something she hasn't earned. Control of your inner world. That's not love. That's instability. A Stoic remains emotionally grounded. He chooses when to engage and when to pull back, not as manipulation, but as protection of his own soul. He doesn't chase affection. He responds to value. So if she pulls away, don't panic. Slow your responses. Shift your energy back to your craft, your circle, your clarity. If she cancels plans, don't protest. No, I'd say understood, and let it go. That isn't cold, it's dignified. It tells her, you are free to choose, but I'm free to move accordingly. Don't fake indifference. That's still rooted in her. Instead, cultivate a true center, a place within yourself that doesn't sway with every gust of wind. That's the kind of presence a woman remembers. Rule 5, build your power so she feels lucky to share your time. Most men chase because they are idle, not in the physical sense, but in the spiritual one. Their days are filled with distraction, not direction. Their minds are scattered, their hearts tethered to fleeting moments of attention. And so, when a woman shows up, she becomes the mission, she becomes the purpose. But a Stoic knows no one completes you. You are already whole. And from that wholeness, you choose. When a man is immersed in building something real, in shaping his body, his mind, his craft, his business, he moves differently. He walks with focus, not urgency. He listens more than he speaks. He doesn't text just to pass time or talk just to fill space. He's not playing hard to get. He simply is hard to distract. And women feel that. They can sense when a man's energy is disciplined. When he isn't just available, he's valuable. And value isn't proven by what you say. It's revealed by what you prioritize. When you're building your life with intent, you naturally become magnetic. You don't need clever lines. Your posture says everything. Your eyes don't search for approval. They hold vision. Your time is sacred, not scattered. And that kind of presence, it's rare. It's unforgettable. So don't ask, what should I say to get her attention? Ask, what am I doing that demands my attention? Because when your life is full of real purpose, she won't feel chased. She'll feel chosen. And that difference makes all the difference. Let's make this practical. Everyday applications of Stoic attraction. Ideas are only useful when they take form in the everyday. So here are some real-life situations, online and offline, where these principles begin to shift the dynamic not by force, but by your calm adjustment. On a date, she teases you. You probably say that to all the girls. Don't rush to prove your innocence. Just smirk, lean back, and say, I don't say much. Let her sit with the silence. Let her wonder. Online, she leaves you unseen. Don't panic. Don't triple text. Don't spiral. Instead, Post something meaningful, then go quiet. Not as punishment, but as presence. Let your absence create weight. Your attention is not a faucet. It's a well, deep and not always open. In a situationship, she starts giving less, and you respond by giving more. Stop, pull back, not to manipulate, but to protect your standard. Let your energy mirror reality. Don't offer 100% to someone showing you 40%. In public, at the gym, or class, don't overengage. Don't perform. Be kind but grounded. Smile but stay still. Posture, calm, and focus. They speak louder than any line. Presence is your power. And women notice a man who owns his space without having to fill it with noise. The shift that changes everything. Before we close this chapter, there's one final idea to sit with. It's simple, but it cuts deeper than any trick or technique. If you remember nothing else, let it be this. Most men fail in attraction not because they're not good enough, but because they've forgotten the order of things. They chase affection. They beg for attention. They try to prove their worth. And in doing so, they lose the very essence that makes them worthy to begin with. Here's the Stoic truth. Power does not chase. It shapes the room. The moment you stop trying to be chosen and instead begin choosing yourself, your purpose, your peace, you shift everything. She feels it. She senses it. And suddenly, you're not just another man looking for connection. You are a man grounded in something deeper. Attraction, real attraction, begins the moment you no longer need it to validate you. So stop asking, how do I get her to like me? Start asking, how do I become so grounded, so emotionally solid, so in tune with my mission that she feels me when I enter the room and wonders why she can't stop thinking about me? Not because you begged, not because you chased, but because you moved differently. This is not arrogance. It's alignment. This is not performance. It's posture. This is not manipulation. It's mastery of self. If this message stirred something in you, if you felt seen or even slightly challenged, don't just let it fade away. Anchor it. Write a comment. Even one sentence. Not for me, for you, for your memory, for your clarity. Tap the like button if this resonated. And if someone came to mind while you listened, someone who might be caught in old patterns, send this to them. Not to change them, but to offer a mirror. At the end of the day, we're all trying to become less reactive, less scattered, more calm, more intentional, more unshakable. So let's keep building minds that don't break. That's where real attraction begins. You've made it this far. That tells me something, not just about your attention span, but your hunger, not for tactics, but for truth, for clarity, for depth. You're not here just to get the girl. You're here to get yourself back, to re-anchor in something solid, something unshakable. That's the true aim. Let's take a moment to revisit the core of this philosophy, not just in attraction, but in living. The Stoics believe that the only true power is the power over oneself, over your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions. Everything else, status, desire, praise, rejection, is external, ephemeral, temporary. So when it comes to love, to romance, to connection, the wise don't chase what's fleeting. They become what's steady. They don't try to win someone over. They live in such a way that invites others to slow down, to look closer, and ask themselves, what is it about him that feels different? This isn't seduction. It's sovereignty. Let's ground this with one final mindset shift. Most men move from fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of being forgotten. Fear of not being enough. And fear creates noise, overthinking, overtexting, overperforming. But fear is the mind's illusion. It asks, what if I'm not wanted? And then forces you to act in ways that ensure that outcome. Neediness doesn't attract, it repels. Now imagine moving from a different place. A quiet, unwavering place. One where you don't question your worth every time she delays a reply. One where your mood doesn't swing with her attention. One where you don't reach to be seen because you already see yourself. That's Stoic attraction. Rooted, stable, rare. So what now? What do you do with all this? You don't need to change everything overnight. That's not how transformation works. The Stoics practiced incremental mastery, small, intentional actions, one day at a time, one situation at a time, one moment of restraint instead of reaction. So here's how to begin. 1. Stop proving. Start observing. The next time you feel the urge to explain yourself or convince her that you're different, pause. Let your actions breathe. Let time speak. A man who trusts his value doesn't rush to defend it. 2. Reduce your digital noise. Audit your online presence. Are you signaling desperation or discipline? Share less but with more meaning. Post with intention, not impulse. And above all, resist the need to be constantly seen. 3. Create space. Not to punish, but to protect. When she pulls back, don't close the gap. Let her come forward. If she doesn't, that's clarity, not loss. The space you hold says, I do not beg, I allow. 4. Anchor your life in something larger. Your mission matters. Your health, your craft, your circle of brothers, your service. Build those, not as a distraction from love, but as the foundation beneath it. Love without self-possession is chaos. But love that flows from purpose, that's art. 5. Practice stillness. Every day, 10 minutes. Sit, breathe, observe your thoughts without judgment. The more you train stillness and solitude, the more it will guide you in moments of chaos. And few things are more attractive than a man who stays calm in uncertainty. A final word. Here's the truth that most never realize, because they never slow down long enough to see it. Attraction is not about being liked. It's about being remembered. And we remember those who move differently, who didn't need us, but still valued us, who didn't chase, but still made us feel seen, who didn't flinch when misunderstood, who didn't shout, but somehow still filled the room. That can be you, not in theory, but in practice, not someday, but today. So if something in you is waking up right now, don't ignore it. Sit with it. Let it rewire the way you see yourself, because the woman isn't the test. You are. If this resonated, take one small action. Leave a comment below, even a few words. Why? Because clarity expands when you write it down. It becomes more than a passing insight. It becomes yours. Tap the like button if this content served you. Share it with someone who's been moving from chaos, who needs a reminder that peace is a choice, not a product of their circumstances, but their mindset. We're all navigating this life, trying to do it with more grace, more strength, more stillness. So let's keep building. Minds that don't break, souls that don't chase, and lives that move not from fear, but from fire. You already have the spark. Now move like it.